Have you ever wondered how a series of ancient texts can have such a profound impact on the modern world? The Bible, this monumental collection of writings, spans a narrative that stretches from the beginning of humanity to the expansion of a faith that has shaped history. In this video, we'll take you on a fascinating journey, unraveling each chapter of the Bible in a way you may have never seen before. Discover how stories like Adam and Eve, Noah's flood, and the life of Jesus are not just part of an ancient account, but also have a surprising relevance to our everyday lives. Get ready to explore the entire story of the Bible with a fresh, illuminating perspective and understand why these ancient texts continue to matter today. The Bible, a grand work that has influenced history and culture in countless societies, begins its narrative with the fascinating story of humanity. From Adam and Eve, whose lives and decisions form the foundation of much of the biblical narrative, to the spread of Christianity within the Roman Empire, the Bible recounts events and teachings that have left an indelible mark on humanity. The complete story of the Bible is like an immense tapestry, woven with threads of events, characters, and messages that have shaped our understanding of the world. In the biblical account, we don't just find a chronology of events, but also a profound reflection of the values and beliefs that have guided millions throughout the centuries. As we move forward, we will see how these stories intertwine, and how the life of Jesus, in particular, transforms the landscape of history and religion. From the very beginning, when we are told about the creation of the world and the first human beings, the Bible offers a comprehensive view of humanity's spiritual and cultural evolution. Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden are presented not only as the first humans, but also as the first to face temptation and sin. This initial narrative sets the tone for the rest of the Bible, where each chapter and verse plays a role in the larger scheme of sacred history. It's fascinating how these early stories continue to resonate throughout time, influencing the theology and morality of various cultures. As we move through the Bible, we encounter the rise of great figures like Noah, who, through his obedience, becomes a symbol of hope and renewal after the flood. The story of Noah and the ark serves as a powerful reminder that even in times of great adversity, faith and obedience can lead to a new beginning. This narrative, like many others in the Bible, is filled with lessons and symbolism that continue to resonate with modern audiences, inviting us to reflect on our own lives and choices. The rise of kingdoms in the Bible, especially the Kingdom of Israel, adds a historical and political dimension to the sacred text. Kings like David and Solomon are not only central figures in biblical history, but their reigns represent periods of both greatness and challenge for the people of Israel. These accounts are crucial for understanding the context in which the events and prophecies of the Bible unfold. The interaction between kings and prophets reveals a complex tapestry of power, faith, and responsibility. Finally, the arrival of Jesus marks a radical shift in the biblical narrative. His life, ministry, and teachings not only fulfill Old Testament prophecies, but also usher in a new era in human history. The spread of Christianity within the Roman Empire, driven by his disciples, reflects the transformation and global spread of the Christian message. The complete story of the Bible culminates in this stage, highlighting how Jesus' teachings and the formation of the early Christian church continue to influence the world today. From the very beginning of the Bible, we find the narrative of creation, where God forms the universe with perfect order and divine intention. In this story, God creates the world, the heavens, the earth, and finally Adam and Eve, the first human beings. The creation of man and woman is described as an act of love and purpose, designed to live in harmony with God and creation. The Bible presents an ideal world where everything is good and perfect, a deep contrast with the reality we know today. The perfection of creation reflects the grandeur of God and his desire to have an intimate relationship with his creatures. However, the narrative takes an unexpected turn with original sin. Adam and Eve, placed in the Garden of Eden, are commanded not to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Despite the divine warning, they give in to the temptation of the serpent and eat the forbidden fruit. This act of disobedience introduces sin into the world and marks the beginning of a fracture in the relationship between God and humanity. This event not only changes the course of biblical history, but also establishes a central theme in the message of redemption that permeates the entire Bible. Original sin brings profound and lasting consequences. The loss of innocence and the entrance of evil into human experience create an environment of suffering and alienation. The Bible uses this story to explain the presence of evil and the need for salvation. Original sin becomes the foundation upon which the necessity of redemption is built throughout sacred history. Thus, the concept of sin and its impact on humanity is a recurring theme in the Scriptures, leading to the revelation of the divine solution. On a practical level, this story invites us to reflect on our own decisions and their impact on our lives and the lives of those around us. The story of Adam and Eve encourages us to consider the importance of obedience and the consequences of our actions. In everyday life, this can translate into making ethical and responsible choices, considering how our decisions affect our environment and relationships with others. The narrative of original sin also sets the stage for the promise of redemption that unfolds in the following sections of the Bible. The fall of man and its consequences introduce a need that will only be resolved with the coming of the Messiah, Jesus. Thus, the story of creation and original sin becomes an essential prelude to understanding the message of salvation that is revealed throughout the rest of the Bible. As we progress through the biblical story, we will see how these early lessons connect with the flood and the figure of Noah, establishing a new beginning for humanity and the continuation of God's plan. The story of the flood is one of the most impactful narratives in the Bible, told in the book of Genesis. After the fall of man and the increase of sin, God decides to cleanse the earth with a great flood that will destroy all corrupt humanity. However, Noah, a righteous and obedient man, finds favor in the eyes of God. He is instructed to build an ark, a massive vessel that will serve as a refuge for him, his family, and a pair of every animal species. This story is much more than a simple survival tale. It is a powerful lesson about obedience, faith, and the possibility of a new beginning. The flood serves as a reset point for humanity, an act of both judgment and mercy. The Bible shows us that through Noah's obedience, humanity is given a second chance. The ark represents salvation and the preservation of life, symbolizing divine protection in the midst of destruction. Noah's strict adherence to God's instructions teaches us the importance of listening and acting according to divine guidance, even when the world seems chaotic. This story also holds deep spiritual symbolism. The flood and the ark can be seen as metaphors for redemption and the refuge found in God. Just as the ark protected Noah and the animals from the destructive waters, faith in God can offer protection and hope in difficult times. In everyday life, this can be interpreted as the need to seek refuge in solid principles and values that guide us through life's storms. Upon leaving the ark, Noah and his family begin anew, ushering in a new era for humanity. God's promise never to destroy the earth with a flood again is sealed with a rainbow, a symbol of the covenant between God and humanity. This covenant underscores God's faithfulness and commitment to his creation. The story of Noah and the flood not only offers a new beginning, but also lays the foundation for the future relationship between God and humanity. As we move forward in the Bible, the theme of new beginnings and redemption intertwines with the story of the kingdoms and prophets of Israel. We will see how these narratives connect and how Noah's story sets the stage for future events in sacred history. The continuity of God's divine plan is revealed as we explore the development of the kingdom of Israel and the arrival of the prophets who guide the people on their spiritual journey. The story of the kingdoms in the Bible is a fascinating narrative of rise and fall, power and responsibility. The kingdom of Israel begins with Saul, the first king anointed by God, but it is David who truly ushers in a golden era. David, known for his courage and his heart that sought after God, establishes Jerusalem as the capital and makes it the spiritual and political center of Israel. His reign is a time of great prosperity and consolidation of the kingdom, but also of challenges and conflicts, setting the stage for the future of the Israelite people. Solomon, David's son, continues his father's legacy by building the temple in Jerusalem, a monumental symbol of God's presence among his people. This temple is not only a center of worship, but also a symbol of peace and prosperity during Solomon's reign. However, the splendor of his reign doesn't last forever, and after his death, the kingdom divides into two, Israel in the north and Judah in the south. In the midst of this instability, prophets emerge as voices of warning and hope. Figures like Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Ezekiel play a crucial role in delivering God's words to the people, offering guidance, comfort, and warnings. The prophets not only predict future events but also call for repentance and faithfulness to God. Their messages are a constant reminder of the need to stay on the path of justice and obedience, despite adverse circumstances. The role of the prophets also illustrates how God uses individuals to carry out His will and lead His people. Through their visions and prophecies, the prophets provide a divine perspective on events and help interpret God's will amid the confusion. This focus on divine guidance and obedience remains relevant today, teaching us the importance of seeking spiritual direction and living according to solid ethical principles. The story of the kingdoms and prophets lays the groundwork for the arrival of a new type of leadership, one that will not only rule over Israel, but also bring a universal message of salvation. The connection between these historical events and the life of Jesus becomes evident as we explore how prophecy is fulfilled and how Christianity expands beyond the borders of ancient Israel. This historical and prophetic context provides a strong foundation for understanding the impact of Jesus and the spread of Christianity. The story of the kingdoms and the prophets not only enriches our understanding of the Old Testament, but also paves the way for the arrival of the Messiah and the fulfillment of divine promises. The birth of Jesus marks a pivotal event in biblical history and for humanity. According to the Gospels, Jesus was born in Bethlehem in a humble and simple setting, far from the luxuries one might expect for the birth of a king. This modest beginning contrasts with the greatness of His mission and reveals a profound message about humility and service. Jesus, foretold by the prophets of the Old Testament, arrives in the world as the promised Messiah, and His life is destined to change the course of history. Jesus' ministry begins with a revolutionary message of love, forgiveness, and redemption. Through His teachings, parables, and miracles, Jesus shows the path to a deeper relationship with God. His message of unconditional love and forgiveness challenges the social and religious norms of His time, and His ability to perform miracles serves as a manifestation of His divine authority. For example, by healing the sick and feeding the multitudes, Jesus not only demonstrates His power, but also His compassion and desire to help those in need. Jesus' life is also marked by His commitment to justice and truth. He confronts injustices and criticizes the hypocrisy of religious leaders, emphasizing the importance of living an authentic life in harmony with divine principles. His Sermon on the Mount, for instance, offers a series of teachings that invite inner transformation and the practice of justice beyond appearances. These principles remain relevant for believers today, providing practical guidance for living a life aligned with Christian ideals. Jesus' ultimate sacrifice on the cross is the culmination of His mission. Through His death and resurrection, Jesus offers complete redemption for humanity, paying the price for sin and opening the way to reconciliation with God. This act of love and sacrifice not only fulfills Old Testament prophecies, but also establishes the foundation of the Christian faith, offering hope and eternal life to all who believe in Him. The spread of Christianity after Jesus' resurrection is a testament to the lasting impact of His mission. The disciples, inspired by Jesus' message and example, begin spreading the gospel around the world, establishing the first Christian communities. This expansion represents not only the spread of a religion, but also the propagation of a transformative message that continues to impact lives today. Jesus' message and mission open a new chapter in biblical history, laying the groundwork for the expansion of Christianity and the formation of a global community of believers. This transition from Jesus' life to the spread of the gospel illustrates how His teachings and sacrifice continue to influence the modern world. After Jesus' resurrection, His disciples became the primary messengers of His teachings, spreading the gospel throughout the known world. This expansion of Christianity is not only a testament to the power of Jesus' message, but also a demonstration of the passion and commitment of His followers. The mission to spread the Christian message became a global effort, marked by both challenges and triumphs that reflect the perseverance and faith of the early Christians. One of the most notable figures in this expansion is the Apostle Paul, whose life and ministry played a crucial role in the spread of Christianity. Paul, initially a persecutor of Christians, experienced a transformative encounter on the road to Damascus. which turned him into one of the most fervent defenders of the gospel. His missionary journeys, letters to the early churches, and tireless evangelistic work were instrumental in forming Christian communities. Throughout the Roman Empire, the growth of Christianity also faced numerous obstacles, including opposition from religious leaders and Roman authorities. Despite constant persecution and risk, Christians continued to spread the message of Jesus, establishing churches and strengthening their faith through adversity. The resilience of the early Christians is a powerful testament to the strength of the Christian message and the conviction that drove its followers. On a practical level, the growth of Christianity demonstrates the importance of mission and evangelism in the lives of believers. The dedication to sharing the message of Jesus and living according to his teachings can inspire people to actively participate in church life and community initiatives. The expansion of Christianity also shows how faith can transcend cultural and social barriers, serving as a reminder of the universal nature of the message of love and salvation. The story of the Bible is an incredible journey that spans from the creation of the world to the global expansion of a transformative faith. Each section of this sacred account offers profound lessons about humanity, divinity, and redemption. As we explore key events like creation, the flood, the kingdoms of Israel, the life of Jesus, and the expansion of Christianity, we find a rich, multi-layered narrative that continues to resonate in our lives today. Now that you've journeyed through this complete story, how have these lessons impacted your personal life? What changes can you make to apply these teachings in your daily routine? The Bible is not just an ancient text. It's a living guide that offers answers to our deepest questions and invites us to live more meaningfully. If this journey has inspired you, I encourage you to subscribe to our channel and activate notifications so we can continue exploring together. Don't miss out on our upcoming reflections and explorations that will help you dive even deeper into the richness of biblical history. Your spiritual journey is just beginning.